What's up, guys? Welcome back on in to 2K with the Popboy. No time to waste. Let's get to it. We gotta fix help defense. And yes, I'm scared too. But trust me, that's why I do so much testing. We're gonna get through this together. Alright, but we gotta start by recognizing one thing about help defense, and that's the fact that it's highly situational. Different opponents, different game plans, of course, and what I'm doing is going through and testing all the settings related to help defense to find out how we can get the game to actually execute all the different game plans we want to use. Right? Makes sense. So we're fixing help D one game plan at a time. That's the approach. So of course there's more videos coming soon with different game plans, but for this one right now we're gonna do what's known by many as the Tony Allen treatment. Alright, and like any scheme, of course there's varying degrees of it. That's probably the extreme example, but we all get it. The general idea is we want to use this when we're playing against a team who has a perimeter player. That's important. It's got to be a perimeter player, or it could be two, who can't shoot. Alright, pretty simple. And the goal is we want to try to force them to beat us with him shooting jumpers. And we do that by basically ignoring him to some degree. We design our help defense to, take away everything else. And we're going to hand him some pretty open looks. We're going to encourage him to shoot. Now we're just going to stand there and watch him struggle and get the rebound. Or I guess if they don't take the bait, they're going to have to force something through like the heart of our defense. So whatever you want to do, it's a great strategy if, it's the appropriate situation. Now we just got to get the game to do it right, to execute it consistently, to do it reliably, and to do it without messing other stuff up. So that's where I come in. I'm testing to figure out what the right settings are to get it to do that. It'd be great if we could run this and get it to work, like you would have it work in real life. And that's what I've done. And you'll see what I'm talking about. It just makes it easier to shut down everything else. That's great, man. So here's what we want to do. First thing, we're going to come into the defensive settings. We're going to go to the help rules settings. There's two of them. We're going to put both of them on help and no rotation. The only other option besides auto is no help. We can't put them on no help for this scheme because you get too many situations like this when you do. Like, obviously, we would, anybody would know that we would want them to help in a situation like this, like totally obvious, but for some reason they're like boxing out their guys. I don't know what that is, but he just waltzes in there for a wide open layup while they watch. I don't know, man. So doesn't work to have him on no help with this scheme. So got to put both these on help and no rotation. Let's move on to the next thing. So I know this is like competing ideals or whatever, but you just never really know what's going on deep in the programming, especially in a 2K game. That's why, I just have to test everything a lot. This is a good example of that. Like, you'd never really think to do this. It doesn't really, make sense to the naked eye. But for whatever reason, it works like a charm for this method. So, even though we just put our help rule settings on help and no rotation, we're also going to, at the same time, put the help defense coaching slider on 0. Right? So, I don't know, man. But, like I said, I just test it. I tell you what I find. So, I can tell you that if you're trying to do this method and you put this slider up at all, and the higher you put it, of course, the worse it gets, but it just makes the guy who's guarding our Tony Allen go overboard. I mean, yes, we're giving him the Tony Allen treatment, but we don't want to lose him, permanently, and we don't want to just abandon him randomly and have his man run all over the place for no reason. And we're still doing things with a purpose here, so for this method, for this game plan, gotta have this slider at 0. Alright, so let's go back to the defensive settings. We want to come to the off-ball pressure setting. Here's what we're going to do, 3 steps. So step 1, we're setting everybody to tight. Okay, now step 2, we're going to go through and we're going to change all interior players who aren't good outside shooters. So like your traditional bigs who play mostly on the inside, who aren't good perimeter shooters, we're going to put all those guys on moderate. Alright, now step 3. We're going to go through and we're going to find our Tony Allen. Or our Tony Allens. It could be up to 2 guys. But we're going to put that guy or those 2 guys on gap. And remember, this is not an interior big. It's got to be somebody who primarily plays on the perimeter. And of course, it's got to be somebody who can't shoot. So in this case, I'm looking at Hamidou Diallo. Perfect. All right, now we can really see the game, run it right. Look at this. It's beautiful. It's pretty much exactly like what you would see in real life against this type of lineup. It's just smart. Like, look at this one. This is just perfect right here. This is exactly how you'd want to play it in real life if you're smart. They really just got nowhere to go. Look at them sag down there. They try to run a pick and roll. We got extra bodies clogging up the paint. We got an extra helper. They got nothing. They got all they got is Andre Robertson standing out there by himself. Now go ahead and kick it to him. See if we care. That's nice, man. They just do it really consistently. So anytime you get this type of matchup, anytime you have an opportunity to use this scheme, as long as you use those settings exactly as I showed you, you'll get a really well executed Tony Allen treatment. Alright, good there. Now, for other types of situations, for other matchups, for other game plans, I want you guys to get in the comments and let me know if there's a certain type of lineup you keep running up against that keeps giving you problems with help defense. I'm already testing for other types of different game plans to get them to execute just as well as this one, but if you got one, tell me what it is in the comments and I can test for it. I'm happy to do it. I'm a nerd. It's just what I do. Speaking of which, I just got a bunch of data in on the My League settings, so I'm going to go dive head first into that. Alright, but pop that like button for me. I appreciate all you guys, and I can't wait to be right back here with you next time on the next edition of 2K with the Popboy.